Welcome guys, I am Vikram Kakkar, a student of ACAS Cloud Online. Today we will see how to create load balancers in Azure portal. A load balancer is a device that distributes incoming traffic across all servers. It is also used to increase capacity and increase the reliability of applications. So when the end user is trying to access online services, the load balancer makes sure that the services are consistently available. For the configuration of a load balancer, we first need to create the standard architecture, which is a resource group, a virtual network with a subnet within it, an NSG, a network security group with an inbound rule of allowing all traffic. Now we need to create VMs which will be part of the backend pool of the load balancer. However, before creating VMs, we need to create availability sets. All the VMs which form the backend pool of a load balancer need also to be part of an availability set. An availability set is of course made of fault domains and update domains. So we will first go and create availability sets, and then we will create the backend pool of VMs for the load balancer. So you can go to the search bar and click availability set, type availability set, and this is the icon. You click and you click create. I'll give it a name. I'll keep 2 fault domains and I'll keep the update domains as 4, and I'll click create. An availability set also increases the resiliency of the VMs as the replication of the VMs is spread across the fault domains and the update domains. The availability set has been deployed. We will now create the 2 VMs. We'll create Linux VMs. We configure the VMs using standard specifications. The only difference being we will select in the availability options availability set, and we will select the availability set which we have created. In the networking page, we will select the virtual network and the subnet which we created. We will allow the creation of a new public IP. And the other difference being that in the advanced page, we will copy and paste a shell script. When we create Linux VMs, we often use putty to configure the Linux VM as a server. However, we can also use the same script in this advanced page section by using a shell script which will configure the VMs as server. As you remember, I said the load balancer, the primary duty of the load balancer is to distribute incoming traffic across different servers. So we are pasting the instructions by using a shell script and pasting it in the custom data section in the advanced page of the VM configuration. And finally, we will click create. While the VM1 is being configured, I'll open another Azure portal and create VM2. Again, these are standard specifications, except that in the availability options, I'll select the availability set redundancy. I'll select the availability set we have created. And in the advanced page, I'll paste the shell script, which are basically instructions to configure the Linux VM as a server, and I'll click create. The VM1 has been deployed. If we go to the availability set, we can see there is one VM running and the fault domains and the update domains. The VM2 has been deployed. If we go to the availability set, we can now see 2 VMs running. Both have their own fault domains and their update domains. Now that we have created the basic architecture, including the availability set and the VM servers, we will create the load balancer. I will click create. We give it a name. I will select this queue as basic since we only have 2 VMs running. I'll keep the type as public, the tier as regional, and now we will go to add a front IP configuration. I'll click add, give the IP configure name. I'll create new IP address, and it will be static so that it remains the same. And click OK and click add. Now I will create the backend pool. Here we add the 2 VM servers we have created. I click add. I'll give it a name. I'll select the virtual network and associate to the virtual machines. I will add the VMs. Click add. And here I'll click add. I will now create the inbound rule. So I'll add a load balancing rule. I'll give it a name. The front-end IP will be the IP of the load balancer. The backend pool I have already created, which I'll select. it will be TCP protocol, which is 80. We'll have to create a health probe. I'll give it a name. The protocol will be TCP. The port will be 80. Interval, if one of the VMs is not responding for at least 5 seconds, that would be considered as a failure. And if there are 2 consecutive failures, then action will be taken. So I'll click OK, and I'll click Add, and I'll click Create. The load balancer has been deployed. I'll go to the resource. So we have successfully created the load balancer. If you want to reconfirm further, you can go to your internet and type the URL of the load balancer. So we pasted that script in the advanced section, which said web server 1 and web server 2. And you will see that you will be redirected to web server 1 and 2 alternatively. So hope today's session is useful for you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.